Today I'm here with Elena Ulani, who has impossibly got 100% in her ISC boards. So I'm going to be interviewing her today about her study habits, her mentality, and simply what was the key factor that helped her get such amazing marks. What stream did you take for your ISC and why?
Well, I chose humanities in class 11. That was because I always wanted to take English as a career, like I wanted to opt for it as a career. So it made sense for me to take humanities and the associated subjects.
So, what was your reaction after you saw your marks and did you expect a perfect score?
I mean, I don't think anyone ever expects a perfect score because 100% is pretty much a perfect score. So that's something which I didn't expect. I did expect to get above a 97 or 98, but I was pretty overwhelmed at the 100, to be very honest. But I'm glad it happened.
Which subjects in the humanities stream did you take? And out of these subjects, which one would you say is the easiest and hardest for you as an individual?
So I had, apart from English, of course, I had history, I had psychology, sociology, elective English, and media and communication. Honestly, I would say that media and communication is the easiest one because there's not much material and it's pretty simple and it's pretty relatable with everyday life. But I think the hardest subject was elective English because it's very different from the way the usual English is taught. So you have to do a lot of research on your own and it's not easy to score in it. So I think that was definitely the most difficult, but I enjoyed it the most.
You said that there was a lot of research in elective English. So how did you prepare for elective English? And even if there were some subjects that you found easy, but there were some concepts that you found hard, how do you get through those hard concepts?
I just like research in general. So anytime I come across a concept which I can't really understand just by reading the textbook, I usually look it up, read a bit more about it, try to read any associated things which are based off of that concept, and then I try to apply that concept if possible to things that I observe or things in my daily life. And when I can make it applicable, I feel like I can understand that concept really well.
What would you say is the biggest challenge you faced while preparing for your boards?
I think the biggest challenge that I faced, especially in terms of ISC, is that I write really long answers. That's my tendency. But ISC is very keyword based. And a lot of the times when I wrote really long answers, my answers tended to lack keywords and I lost points in school exams. That was something which I had to rectify before the ISC. So I had to go through a lot of past papers and competency-based questions just to find out what the marking scheme is like. So that was a lot of work, but I think it worked out.
There is a misconception that like a lot of people think that it's very, very tough or practically impossible to get a full in English. But how do you manage to do that?
Again, I think for me personally, English is easier because I like the subject and so I study it a lot and it's easier for me personally. But in general, I feel that English at an ISC level is just like the other subjects in the sense that you just need to figure out the key points, you need to figure out what the board wants and maybe definitely look at the answers which they've given in the past, say last year's papers or specimen papers, and follow those. That really helps.
Suppose like the day before or 2-3 days before, how do you revise so all of the content was effectively revised before the exams?
I'm lucky in a sense that I had a lot of gaps between each exam for my board, so I did get a lot of time to revise. But I usually went through the key chapters first, which I knew would be sure to come this year. I talked about it with my teachers. So those were the ones which I gave priority and made sure that I make no mistakes in those concepts or those chapters and then go on to the less important ones. And if I usually break my studies into study blocks. I don't study continuously. And I like to read, so I often take breaks in between to read or do something else, maybe listen to music, and that helps keep the information fresh.
So a lot of people deal with anxiety or stress before boards. Have you ever encountered that? And if so, what do you think is the best way that you can counter that?
I mean, of course, like every person, I did encounter a lot of anxiety before my boards, especially as I'd set a personal goal for myself and I also was doing a lot of other things. So I didn't exactly study continuously throughout my class 12, but I felt that what actually helped me deal with the stress was to rewind, to listen to music, to talk to people, take breaks, frequent breaks, and just not let thoughts of the boards absorb my thoughts all the time. And I think that helps deal with a lot of the related stress.
I wanted to ask you about people pulling all-nighters, going to extreme lengths and not sleeping for the boards, only cramming. So, have you ever done that? And do you think that it has a negative performance on the final grades?
I pulled consecutive all-nighters before my history pre-board exam, and I completely blacked out in the exam, and it was a really scary experience. And I think I usually liked pulling all-nighters because they were easier for me. I'm not a morning person, but that made me realize that all-nighters were affecting my performance, were affecting my health. And so before boards, I made sure to keep a regular timetable so that I slept by a certain time, and that actually helped me memorize better, helped me revise better, and ultimately do better in the exams.
So, where are you headed this September for college, and why did you choose that university over others?
Well, in August, I'm headed to Ashoka University. I'm planning to study English and media there. I think what attracted me to this university is that it's a liberal arts university in the sense that it focuses on interdisciplinary education, and the subject I want to major in, that's English, you can't study it in isolation. You have to study it in relation to subjects like history, like sociology, psychology, political science, law even. And I will get that sort of environment in that university. So yeah, that's why I chose it.
You chose English as a career path, but that's a very unconventional choice. So what made you decide that over a more conventional choice such as a doctor or lawyer, which is what people expect as Indians?
Up till 10th, my family was pretty convinced that I would be giving NEET and qualifying to become a doctor. And I think I sort of absorbed that aspiration as well. But English was both a passion and the subject which I sought refuge in throughout my years of schooling. And I think while I was making my choice at the end of class 10, I realized that if I took NEET and I ended up giving NEET, maybe I would have qualified if I'd put in a lot of effort and done coachings and all of that. But I wouldn't be happy, and I wouldn't be able to sustain the long years of medical school and then the subsequent practice. And English is something that makes me happy. And in the modern world, it's unconventional career choices are what are becoming more popular. So you can make a career in just about anything. And so I thought that why not make a career out of something I love?
How do you manage to effectively convince them against what they expected you to become in the future?
Well, it definitely wasn't easy, and there was a lot of anger almost that I would choose to drop NEET and take up something like English, which, as you said, is an unconventional career choice. But ultimately, I feel like I managed to convince them of what I told you just now, that you can make a career out of just about anything in today's world. And my mother herself was a history major in university. So I think that made her more sympathetic, I think, to my aspirations. And so they ultimately came around. But it wasn't easy.
Apart from your academics, Ashoka is a very, very good university to get into, so congratulations for that. So apart from your academics, what else did you do to ensure that you got it?
Well, I debate a lot in the sense that for the past 2 years, I think I've been in debate halls and auditoriums more than I've been in class. And that was a major addition to my portfolio. Apart from that, I also write. I write a lot of poetry and short stories. I have a published anthology of poetry. I did a lot of content writing internships as well. And altogether, I feel like it created a very comprehensive portfolio for the university, and that is something they look for. So that helped.
So obviously Indians think that only good marks, if you just get good marks, you'll get into whatever university you want. So what are your opinions on that?
That in today's scenario, and considering the qualification processes for a majority of the universities in India today, that's a very outdated thought process, because now what universities look for is a well-rounded person, one who doesn't just focus on academics but can also do other things, cultivate other skills, and become, as I said, a well-rounded person with the ability to not just study but do other things in equal measure while keeping their academic priorities straight.
What tips would you like to give to people who are going to take the boards in this year, to take the upcoming boards right now? So what tips for preparation would you want to give for them?
So the first tip I would give is just please take a deep breath first. There's a lot of terror surrounding boards, or I think any competitive exam, but boards of course, because, and especially ISC. So please rid yourself of the notion that boards is a really terrifying exam first. Secondly, like I said, I didn't just study throughout my class 12. I did debates like 1 month before my pre-boards. I wrote for different companies 2 weeks before my boards. So do a lot of things, do them well, have fun, and study, keeping a regular timetable for yourself, devoting attention to the subjects you feel that need more attention. Don't try to be influenced by what you see others doing. What works for someone else will not work for you. And that, I think, is the most important tip. And of course, please make sure to regularly discuss things with your teachers. Get a lot of input regarding what boards' marking schemes look like, because that will help.
Finally, if you have one last message you would like to share with the viewers.
I think what I want to say is that we have this notion that it's only extraordinary people who get hundreds, or extraordinary people who can do really well. And I think throughout my 11 and 12, I heard my mom saying that you need to study more if you want to get a good rank, at least in the boards. But I don't think that's the case. I think studying in a way that is good for you, that makes you happy, pursuing interests that make you happy, enrich your portfolio is really important, because you can't study if your mental health isn't intact. And mental health, especially today with so much pressure, and of course whatever else is happening in the world, is really important. So take care of that. Make sure to do things which keep that intact, and you'll find your balance and your rhythm. That worked for me, and I think it'll work for everyone else.